Fire, 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 fire.
Chad, are you ready? I'm ready. Alright, about the Sykkuno video. Uh-oh, stinky alert.
Alright, so first things first, this video is not monetized. I'm not about to pull a CC in the big 2026.
CC.
I'm making this in regard to my last video
that
about
crazy
Sykkuno.
Overwatch
I want to
bitch?
clarify how this video came to be, while also taking accountability
Or
and
Marvel
apologizing
Rebels.
for the mistakes that I made. At the same time, I also want to clear up some misinformation spread about me over the last few days. This video was meant to come out a bit earlier, but I was told by someone in the know that Sykkuno might release a joint statement with his girlfriend, so I chose to wait for that first, just in case. I'll also be going through that later in the video. So, how did this all begin? Well, for me, it was on April 7th when I was reached out to by Mal for the first time. I was told that a Google Doc was releasing soon about
Google
a big
Doc-y.
content creator. And this is when I was asked if I wanted access to it early to maybe make a video about it. The document was going to publicly release on the 10th anyway. This means that this wasn't some grand conspiracy, okay? This document was going to release with or without me. And while yes, rumors of Sykkuno's behavior have been floating around for a while now between certain content creator circles, none of this was gonna really convince me to make an early video. If you've watched my channel before, then you'd know that I'm someone.
I'm gonna say it. Mistake number one was trusting this bitch. HemoMal. Let me see if I can find it. I saw some shit on Twitter the other day. I think it was Emerald Apple that talked about it. I followed them on Twitter. Give me one moment. Frickin' Emerald Apple. Where's their Twitter? Oh yeah, here it is. Was it about... Yeah, oh my god. Yeah, this was crazy to me. Yeah, I saw it and I bookmarked it. This is HemoMal, the person who canceled Sykkuno. She started her account with lewd content less than 2 weeks before her Google Doc dropped. Her top tier memberships cost over $600 a month for exclusive access to mystery content. It also turns out this woman mocked Charlie Kirk's death. His parents so common these days was what kids would say, being predator, and then turn around and at the same time promote Star OF style content to capitalize on drama. It's the typical crash out, clout, cash out pipeline. Ooh, and then the censored picky wikis. Ooh. Yikes. Apparently she started OnlyFans just like 2 weeks before dropping a document on a massive content creator that was like pretty much guaranteed to go viral. Which would then obviously attract attention to her. People will go to her socials and go, oh, she's hot, and then subsequently go to her OnlyFans. Or Patreon, or whatever it is. If this is true, I'm saying that, like, I'm only saying that because I don't know how to verify her account creation date specifically. I don't know. Then I would think, like, Mujin absolutely got fleeced. This is absolutely shameless as if this is real, bro. I think you'd have a very hard time arguing that the timing on that wasn't intentional. Obviously, there's benefit of the doubt, but I do think it's extremely weird.
Who highly values both sides of the story. It's actually something that I always implore you to do before forming your own opinions. And while I do receive so many DMs about scoops or exclusive info about certain topics, I mostly never take them, always choosing to wait for things to unfold in public first before making my videos. What made this situation special though was the 17-minute video recording of the voice call between Mal and Sykkuno. My logic here was simple. It was me thinking that we already had the other side of the story, and it was Sykkuno admitting to his wrongdoings in the most raw and unfiltered way possible. So I figured that was enough. At the same time, I thought that since my channel had grown exponentially, don't ask me how or why because I have no idea, I could maybe use my platform for a good cause, spreading awareness about Sykkuno's behavior so that no one else gets tricked into being a homewrecker against their will, while in parallel, encouraging others who have been wronged by him to finally speak up. Additionally, seeing that the person speaking up was doing so from a small account, I figured I could help amplify that message to spread maximum awareness. Now yes, some people could definitely argue that I was desperate for a topic to bring in views, but to me it didn't matter because I was already lucky enough to be able to cover niche topics I enjoy and still somehow reach over a million views on them. Again, don't ask me how because I don't know, but that was just the reality. Here's the thing though. Releasing the video around the same time as the document meant that I was taking a substantial risk by putting my channel's reputation on the line. I knew this, even at the time, but it was a risk I was willing to take if it meant that I was doing the right thing. Unfortunately, though, it didn't really work out as I had hoped, and I ended up making mistakes that I need to take accountability for, which is why we're here today. The first mistake can be found in the intro of the video, and it's me using the word predator. Yes, it was my idea, and the logic behind it was me trying to encompass everything, like the serial cheating, lying, and deliberate targeting of smaller content creators into one word. Before using
I said this when I reacted to this video, before it was taken down, obviously. I'll say it again. I'll restate it here for anyone who missed it. Obviously, predator has different meanings than just like a synonym for pedophile. But the big issue you have when using that word as that is like, people who hate Sykkuno, or more likely people who hate men in general, are gonna intentionally misappropriate the word predator to mean pedo. They will purposefully and maliciously misunderstand it to do harm. It's like when someone calls me a right-wing grifter on Reddit or whatever, other people will perceive that term as a dog whistle for Nazi. It happens all the time. Predator was not the choice. Definitely. Especially in the context of talking about a man who was just being a fucking playboy with women.
it, I even made sure to double check its definition in multiple dictionaries, which said things like a person or an organization that uses weaker people for their own advantage, or one who injures or exploits others for personal gain or profit. Due to this, I had come to the conclusion that, yeah, this word fits. I'd find out quickly afterwards, though, that for many people, that word is only reserved to describe pedophiles or sexual predators, which made a substantial amount of people feel misled after watching the intro of my video. It made it seem like a hit piece, exaggerating things, and it also made it seem like Sykkuno had committed very serious crimes, enough to land him in a high-security prison or something. The
other reason people thought it was a hit piece was because the video just came out way too early. Like, Sykkuno never responded. You didn't reach out to him to comment in the video. You published it almost simultaneously with the Google Doc he dropped by a girl that couldn't help but come off as like a really scorned side piece that had also apparently started a not safe for work Patreon before dropping it. It looks really bad. I think the video would have come off a lot more genuine had you just waited like 2 weeks, waited to see a Sykkuno response, or at the bare minimum contacted his girlfriend at all. And that was the other thing as well, I think. I saw it in the statement by Sykkuno and his girlfriend. They said nobody ever reached out to the girlfriend at all before this was dropped. Now, obviously, this is just a statement, right? We saw it on Twitter. Sykkuno could be lying. We don't know. We have no way to verify. However, if anybody involved did actually like try to reach out to the girlfriend beforehand, I'm sure they would easily be able to provide screenshots of them doing so, and I don't think they've done that to my knowledge. I don't know if he covers that in this video, but we'll see, I guess.
Clearly wasn't the case. That was not my intention at all, and I'm sorry for that. From now on, I'll only use that word to refer to pedophiles or sexual predators. That's it, no exceptions. I'd also like to say that yes, the video was rushed. It simply didn't meet the quality standard that you'd expect of me, and that's without even mentioning that it was clearly biased and didn't attempt to see different viewpoints. There's a reason I don't typically reach out to people involved in public incidents, because it's very easy to form bias after you communicate directly with them. It's just human. So yeah, what Mal said at the end of her call with Sykkuno was off-putting, and it wouldn't have hurt for me to point that out. I get that. I was instead more focused on Sykkuno's admittance of guilt. I'm sorry for letting you guys down in that regard. You trust me with a certain quality standard, and I just couldn't deliver it this time. And that's on me. I also want to apologize.
Right, which is why the video seemed biased towards HemoMal or whatever the hell she's called. Because she communicated with you. That's the problem. Everyone is mad at Mujin for a million things. The only thing I really give a shit about is that he listened to that voice call. It didn't immediately get a red flag when she's like, oh, but you can still talk to me. Like, that should have raised so many alarms. If I were in Mujin's position, I would have questioned everything about her or done some deep digging or, like, waited or something. Like, after hearing that, I would have questioned all that shit and her intentions after I heard that. Obviously, we all make mistakes, but that was crazy. I personally think you should have instantly clocked that as a red flag.
To Sykkuno's girlfriend. In the 17-minute video of the voice recording, there was one frame, which represents 1/60th of a second that wasn't blurred. And it leaked to the group chat she was in when she found out that Sykkuno had been cheating on her with multiple people. This frame was enough for certain individuals to confirm her username, and it impeded on her privacy. I was not the one who handled blurring it, but I still included the entire thing in my own video and completely missed that detail.
Oh my god, I didn't even notice that. Obviously, he has an editor that does this stuff for him, but holy shit. I would be beating that editor's ass for missing that. That looks terrible. That's so bad.
So I take full responsibility for that. I'm sorry. Now look, with all that being said, apologies are great, but there's no use presenting them if there's no attempt to act on them. And that's exactly what I intend to do. But first, I want to go through some misinfo that was spread about me in recent days and set the record straight. When the video first released, XQC reacted to it almost immediately and would spend his time defending Sykkuno while trying to undermine the things he's done to people. He would also comment on my video. In that comment, he'd make it seem like my problem with Sykkuno's behavior had to do with the lack of clout of the women he reached out to. In any case, what would happen next is a narrative that would form saying that I deleted his comment because I couldn't handle his unparalleled wisdom. As you can see, that's false. It's still right here, along with all the wonderful comments left by his community too. I really don't know why he and some other content creators tried so hard to defend Sykkuno's behavior, as if he was their long-lost brother or something. All I know is that cheating has been shunned by humanity for thousands of years.
I mean, it's his opinion. He's allowed to say it. There's people who think that too. So it's not his issue.
Regardless of gender.
If he wants to think
maybe
that,
normalizing
I
it now
don't hate
is
him
probably
for
a
it.
bad idea, but hey, you're free to form your own opinion. Go for it. Next, some people tried to claim that I changed my video's title because I was scared of a defamation lawsuit from Sykkuno. Sure, a random lawyer from Fiverr might claim that, but it's false. Here's a neat trick. You can go to a website like viewstats.com, go to any channel, we'll pick, I don't know, Mr. Beast, click on a video, and you'll actually be able to see any thumbnail or title changes since upload.
Oh.
Pretty cool, right? Now, if you were to do that with my video, you'd see that there were no thumbnail or title changes whatsoever since upload. So that's false. And look, defamation is about knowingly.
Yeah, I didn't notice any title changes, and I usually see it. Funnily enough, I could kind of confirm this. I guess this is my bias, but I notice when people change their thumbnails or titles because I have two different accounts, SmugAlana and like the one that I've always used. And it's funny to me because I didn't notice anything, so you would obviously see title changes and thumbnail changes.
Lying about someone in order to ruin their reputation. I had no intention of lying in my video about Sykkuno. And if I did want to lie, then wouldn't I have just simply removed the last 2 minutes of Mal and Sykkuno's voice call so that she looks way better and he looks way worse? It just doesn't
I think that's valid. Yeah.
Make sense. I never make any video with the intention of lying. Period. And
Yeah,
finally, when it
sure.
comes to misinfo, there's also something else that honestly doesn't deserve attention at all, but I'll still mention it. And it's this weird rumor or fan fiction that some people made up saying that I only made this video to try and get with the women that were affected by Sykkuno's actions. Anyone who knows me or has ever spoken with me in the content creation sphere knows that I never even attempt to keep things strictly professional. I take my platform very seriously and would never seek to use it in that way. It's simply not who I am.
I mean, those are just Twitter retard Andes doing what they do best. They spout bullshit. People do that about me too. I don't think him trying to get into her pants is even close to the truth. Like, if you're gonna try and pin a bad narrative on him, doing it for money makes the most sense. Like, logically speaking. Not wanting like fucking low IQ 19-year-old pussy. Like, come on, man. Like, Jesus Christ.
Obviously also very disrespectful to anyone who was hurt by Sykkuno's actions, but it's not like the people peddling these rumors cared about them to begin with. Alright, so next up we have the joint statement that was posted by Sykkuno and his girlfriend. The first half would be written by Sykkuno. In it, he'd reiterate that he lied to people about being single and that he has been unfaithful to his girlfriend. He'd apologize and say that he'd be taking a break from streaming in order to better himself. He'd also call out anyone trying to frame him with false accusations. So yeah, as you can see, not much has changed. He's already admitted to these things in the voice call with Mal. When it comes to false accusations though, yes, there are stories that have circulated for years among...
I'm gonna take an opportunity, like, to correct myself as well. I never showed it on stream, but at some point, I acknowledge that Twitter post that Sykkuno was already on a date with another girl days after all the drama happened. That post is apparently fake and from a while ago, and they just reposted it, not after the Google talkie. Yeah, let me know that post was not true, apparently.
Some VTubers that accuse Sykkuno of doing worse than cheating. At this point, though, it is not up to me to say whether it's true or not, just pointing out what he might be referring to. He could also be referring to the word predator, which I already apologized for. Now, the second half of this statement would be written by his girlfriend. She'd express how hard this has all been on her, and how hurt she felt over not having a choice on whether this went public or not, saying that she understands that many people were hurt, but that her feelings felt like they weren't really considered at all. She'd call out people who sought to use this incident for profit, and would say that even prior to this going public, she was already trying to work through things with Sykkuno in order to repair their relationship together. She'd end her statement by saying that even with everything that has come out, she doesn't consider Sykkuno's actions irredeemable. She's going to stay with him and try to fix their relationship in spite of everything. Listen, I can't imagine what she's been through in just these last few weeks. Finding out that your boyfriend has been cheating on you for years, that he slept with someone as recently as December 2025 behind your back, and that he was still trying to arrange a meetup with someone else as you were already trying to fix your relationship after what had happened in December. I mean, seriously, it's just insane. But I do think this needs to be said. The fact that this went public is unfortunate, but people were genuinely hurt by Sykkuno lying to them that he was single. Maybe it's an unpopular opinion at this point. Let me know if you think it is, but if someone lied to me about being single, and I later found out that us having sex directly hurt their partner, made them depressed, and ruined or at least endangered a 5-year-long relationship, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. That's simply not what I would have signed up for. And seeing that he's a public figure who used this public standing to get with these women after lying to them, it felt like this going public was going to be inevitable. But that doesn't mean that her feelings are not valid, because they are. When it comes to me, I did have a hand in spreading this to the public by releasing my video so quickly, and I simply had no right to do so. And for that, I am sorry. Now,
I think it's like fair to make the argument that the side pieces may have suffered some emotional damage from being lied to by Sykkuno, but not talking to the girlfriend at all before making the video kind of feels like you're prioritizing the feelings of the side pieces over the one who actually got cheated on. Now, bear in mind, that girl has decided to stay with Sykkuno despite all of this. So, do with that information what you want, like what you will. So, I mean, I'm not gonna say it, but
some people's reactions to this announcement,
I would, but
and yeah,
I don't know.
as you might expect, it's not sunshine and roses. This whole topic has been extremely polarizing on the internet to begin with, and the girlfriend in particular is getting hate thrown her way, with people calling her things like gold digger or Stockholm Syndrome victim for not leaving him. Here's the thing though. What matters here is that Sykkuno stops his serial cheating streak, and that he stops lying to women about him being single while turning them into homewreckers against their will. That's it. If she wants to stay, that's her choice. She doesn't deserve to get nasty things said about her though. I wish her the best, and I again would like to apologize if I directly contributed to any harm that she might have gone through. That was not my intention. Look, ultimately, my favorite YouTuber growing up was PewDiePie. Yeah, I enjoyed his sense of humor, the fact that for the longest time, he was the sole runner of his channel, which gave him so much authenticity. But most of all, what I really liked about him was that he was not ashamed of being human. He would make mistakes. But when he would, he'd also sincerely apologize.
He also had opinions that people really didn't like.
Work to learn from them. It's no secret that today, as a content creator, if you were to make a mistake, it would be so much easier to wait for it to die down in a week and then continue business as usual, as if nothing had happened. I was even advised by some to do exactly that and not release this video. And I understand why. It unfortunately works. But to me, it's simply the right thing to do, even if it leads to more scrutiny and people disliking me. I screwed up, I'm going to say sorry, and I will improve. So what am I going to change exactly? Well, to start, I'll never give another exception to a scoop or exclusive info. I will do what I've always done on this channel and talk about things that have already played out in public. I don't care if a 5-star general gives me info about World War III starting tomorrow. I will make the video after the nukes drop. I also realize now just how much you guys value my objectivity. I understand that I'm not perfect at it, and I probably never will be, but I'll always strive to present information to you in the most balanced way possible so that you can, in the end, form your own opinion. And finally, no matter how much this channel grows, I'll always ask you to be honest with me, and I promise to take accountability when needed, just like how I'm doing right now. So look, if the last video was a deal breaker for you and you want to unsubscribe, then I completely understand. But I won't let you leave without thanking you first. Take care, and may our paths cross again someday. On the other hand, if you're planning to stick around for future content, then I'd like to thank you so much for allowing me to make a mistake and grow from it. I say this all the time when I stream, but not a day goes by where I take any of this for granted. And the fact that so many of you watch me, whether you're driving home, chilling at work, doing chores, knitting, or just eating, I'm so honored to be able to make your day a bit less mundane with my videos. It's truly a blessing. Thank you. I also would like to thank my Discord mods, my friends, and my viewers who reached out during this time. It meant a lot, and I really appreciate it. The Sykkuno video was live for a week, so I'll keep this video live for a week as well. However, I do plan to private the original video as soon as this video gets uploaded. I hope to be back sooner rather than later, continuing to make videos that you enjoy at the level of quality that you expect of me. As always, thank you so much for watching until the end, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video, whenever that is.
Yeah, I mean... I don't know. I mean, he owned up to a lot of the stuff people were criticizing for. I think that's good. I think an apology was merited and delivered. Like he maybe delivered 50% of it. Did he address everything people had to say? No, of course not. I think he missed a few things, maybe a lot of things, but he got the predator thing. He got the girlfriend thing. He got the clearly I was being biased video thing. Is he doing damage control? Sure, yeah, I think that's obvious. But that doesn't mean his apology isn't genuine. It's absolutely possible to change your mind and realize you fucked up while also acknowledging that an apology will help mitigate the damage you've done to your reputation. Those two things can absolutely be true at the same time, chat. Yeah. Why didn't he delete the video instead of just private? He just wants to keep the money. That's a stupid way to nitpick, and I'll explain why. First off, it doesn't matter whether you delete or private a video, you keep the money regardless. Like, they don't just like poof it out of your account. The ad revenue generated from people watching the ads while the video was live doesn't just vanish. And secondly, when you outright delete a video with tons of views versus just privating, it also has like an extreme effect, an extremely negative effect on your algorithm and the consequences for your YouTube channel. The algorithm will absolutely butt fuck you and not push you as much and reduce the overall reach of views of your channel. Like, if I were in Mujin's position, I would have privated too. If you want to properly criticize that aspect of his response, I actually think the correct question would be, what are you gonna do with the money you made off of the video? Not, why didn't you delete the video instead of make it private? I think that's a fucking retarded nitpick, but like, that would make a lot more sense to me, because like I said earlier, I think money was a stronger motivator than wanting like a crumb of VTuber pussy. That's where I would put my focus. Maybe he should make a donation to the girlfriend or a charity of her choice or something. I feel like that would be a goodwill gesture. Yeah. Yeah, I know people are talking about Powder. How do you feel about this blow up at Powder? Yeah, I saw that. I definitely think it's weird. I don't know. I do think Powder has gotten very edgy and controversial in like the last 6 months, I want to say. I think there's plenty of things she said or done that you could understandably disagree with, but her post about Mujin's video was not one of those things. I think it was a completely reasonable take. Like, there was nothing controversial about it. That was definitely a crash out, a bit of a crash out. Because there's no world where your response to someone making a reasonable critique of your video is like, oh, hey, it's the girl who dates black guys. It's like, that was crazy. Like, especially with no evidence. And even with evidence, it would be weird But with no evidence, it's like, stay on topic, you know? Like, there's no reason for ad hominem. This is crazy. Yeah. I thought that was crazy. Yeah, it was so out of pocket. I was like reading it. I was like, what the fuck? Like, okay, maybe you didn't like what she said, but why did you crash out like that? I thought it was crazy. Do you dislike Powder, or do you think she's just edgy? No, I don't dislike Powder. No, of course not. I think of Powder the same way I think of every other VTuber or content creator that's like willing to get their hands dirty with political takes. I agree with some things she says. I disagree with other things she says. And you'll never know what those things are because I don't get political on my channel. I'm also not the type to like ever give so much a shit about one person's opinion that it would drive me to dislike them or like hate tweet at them or anything like that. Like I just don't care. I don't really do that. If they say something I don't like, I just move on with my day. Within reason, of course. Like, for instance, you guys clearly know I have, like, a negative opinion of people that mock the death of others, no matter what side of the aisle they're from. I don't give a shit. Like, they're dead. They can't talk back at you. Why do you do that? You're a piece of shit. They can't even, like, they can't fight back. What? And unfortunately, we've unfortunately come across that on stream a lot since like late last year, I want to say. But other than that, I don't know. I just don't care. It's really not rocket science. That's my boring, honest opinion. I'm sorry. It's also worth saying that even if Powder is like edgy or she totes the line, I'm using my fingers as asterisk, but like, I will take someone like that any day of the week over your standard SJW retard redditor that's like unironically trying to ruin your life for disagreeing with them, you know? Yeah. I don't know, just don't care. People be like, oh no, your opinion is so vanilla. It's like, I don't really give a shit. Okay. But do you hate us, son? Wait, this guy's interrogating me, bro. Yo, he's asking the questions chat asked, bro. I swear. No, I don't. Like, if I say I hate Hassan, I really don't. I just think he's retarded and performative. Like, I might say, like, oh, I hate this guy, but I don't, like, truly hate him. Hate is such a strong word for me. In Russian, if you say hate, it really means you hate every fiber of their being and you want them to die. Like, I don't feel that at all about him. Hate is a strong word for me. Hate has so much emotion behind it for me. Like, to actually hate someone, you have to care a lot. You have to constantly be thinking about them, constantly posting about it. Like, I just don't. It's a waste of mental energy. Being criminally stupid. It's like the Lumi meme, you know, where there's that clip. It's like, oh, he's retarded, and then I move on, or I farm content, and then I move on to the next thing. It's really easy. No one cares. It's not that bad. Yeah, like, I don't know, the people that post about one singular person all the time on Twitter, those people truly hate them, right? Like, people exist like that. No. Yeah. It takes so much energy. Chat, I'm not gonna lie, I think people's mental health is important. I think if you're sitting on Twitter constantly, it does affect your mental health. It does. I used to care a lot. No. I'm checking something. I hate passively. That's valid, but then you're not truly hating them. You just really don't like them. Oh, someone asked this too. I just saw this. Why did you unlist the video? For transparency, I removed my react to Mujin's video on my channel, and to top it off, it also had the leaked name as well, so people could go and look at it, which is bad. I think that's in respect to the girlfriend too, so at least, like, yeah. I think that's a valid thing to do, and as someone who reacts to videos, I think that's the respectful thing to do. If someone privates their video or deletes it or whatever, I think the nice thing to do is not to keep their L posted on your channel. And no, for the record, I could show it on stream. No, he did not DM me and ask me to take it down. I did it on my own volition to abide by my own morals, that's all. On top of the leaked thing as well that he talked about himself.
All the wonderful comments.
Where he said that there was an accidental leak on the screenshot. Yeah, I just literally, I was like, oh shit, I should do that. I heard rumors about that. I was like, oh shit, well, I don't wanna ruin people's life, like, inadvertently, even if it's an accident. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about. It was, yeah, I just wanted to clear that up.
Fire, fire, fire.